I have big news, friends, to share with all of you. Many top economists are warning that the United States is now headed into a recession. Democrats and Republicans are discussing their new plans on how to tackle inflation. This will affect millions of Americans. Lawmakers have also announced that there are 4 million Americans that can claim extra inflation relief money this week. So make sure that you watch until the end of this video, friends, to learn how you can take action and receive up to $3,000. Also, to say thank you for joining me here every day, I'm giving away 4 $75 Walmart gift cards every week. Please do make sure that you enter these giveaways by clicking and liking several of my videos and then commenting below the keyword of each video that you watch. Friends, during the months of October, November, and December, I will be giving away surprise $200 gift cards to those of you that have been in this community for several months. A recent audit of child tax credit payments, a provision of the American Rescue Plan that was passed amid the crisis, showed the IRS delivered the overwhelmingly majority correctly. The small margin of error, however, represents a massive number, with some $3.7 billion still owed to eligible taxpayers. The audit conducted by the Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration reviewed the Internal Revenue Service's handling of the expanded child tax credit. The expansion increased the credit from $2,000 to $3,600 for each child younger than age 6 and $3,000 for children under the age of 18. The payments were made July through December 2021, but efforts to extend them into 2022 had failed. The audit reviewed 178.9 million child tax credit payments made between July and November of that year, totaling more than $76.7 billion. Of those, 175.6 million, totaling about $75.6 billion, were distributed correctly. However, friends, there is 3.3 million payments that is worth more than $1.1 billion that were sent to 1.5 million taxpayers who did not qualify. Also, the Internal Revenue Service did not send 8.3 million payments that is worth about $3.7 billion to 4.1 million eligible taxpayers. So if you have a child and did not receive the child tax credit, the first thing that you should do is to determine if you are eligible to qualify for the full amount. Your adjusted gross income must be below $75,000 as a single filer, or $150,000 for married couples who file jointly. Single filers with income of up to $200,000 or married joint filers with incomes of up to $400,000 are eligible for partial refunds. If you have a qualifying income, you may still be able to claim the credit by filing a 2021 tax return, even if you are not typically required to do so. Individuals requesting an extension on filing have until October 17, 2022 to submit their information. If you did not file for an extension, there is no penalty for late filing if you don't owe money. The keyword for this video is apple cider. If you would like to enter the next Walmart gift card giveaway, please click and like several of my videos and then comment below this keyword, which is apple cider, and additional keywords of any video of mine that you watch. And do make sure, friends, that you are subscribed to my channel. Good friends, here is some breaking news. Bank of America told reporters this week that the Federal Reserve's fight to squash inflation will cause the U.S. economy to start losing tens of thousands of jobs a month, beginning early next year. Although the jobs market remained surprisingly strong in September, the Fed is working hard to change that by aggressively raising interest rates to ease demand for everything from cars and homes to appliances. The pace of job growth is expected to be roughly cut in half during the fourth quarter of this year. As pressure from the Fed's war on inflation builds, non-farm payrolls will begin shrinking early next year, translating to a loss of about 175,000 jobs a month during the first quarter. Charts published by Bank of America suggest job losses will continue through much of 2023. According to some economists, in a perfect world, the Fed would slow the jobs market enough to get inflation back to healthy levels, but not so much that it causes significant and persistent job losses. Bank of America does not think that the Fed will be able to pull that off. Last Friday's jobs report showed that although the jobs market is slowing down, the United States added a stronger than expected 263,000 jobs in September. The unemployment rate dropped to 3.5%, tied for the lowest level since 1969. But some economists expect that the unemployment rate will climb to around 5% or 5.5% over the next year. So by comparison, the Fed expects the unemployment rate to hit 4.4% next year. The U.S. Central Bank is raising interest rates at the fastest pace in at least 4 decades in a bid to cool inflation down. Fed officials have made it clear they are in no rush to shift out of the inflation fighting mode to save the economy from a slowdown or even a recession. So friends, what are your thoughts on this? And please let me know if you think that the Feds are doing a good job at reducing inflation. Please leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Well, my great and amazing friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video. Thank you, my dear friends, for joining me here every day when I post a video. And I truly hope that you all found this information helpful. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful and blessed day.
The American people, they weren't having that either. They weren't buying that line. And over the next 5 months, the COVID-19 pandemic, so-called global challenges, supply chains, and of course, Vladimir Putin, and then Senate Republicans, everybody took a turn in the blame game seat for President Biden and the White House. It was everybody's fault but theirs. Isn't that absolutely amazing? Just amazing. The people in control of everything, the House, the Senate, the executive branch, the White House, controlling it all. They had nothing to do with this, they want you to believe. Well, yes, indeed, they had everything to do with it. So last month, the Democrats had exhausted this rotation of villains, as they like to call it. Well, they panicked and they decided once again that they had to just go out here and convince the American people that yes, indeed, inflation was transitory. It was going to be short-lived. It was only 8.5%, they would say, only. But go fill up the car, go to the grocery store. You know they're wrong. Well, unfortunately for Joe Biden, the American people are much smarter and more in tune with day-to-day life than the left has given them credit for. This administration is now in damage control mode. Last week, Secretary Yellen threw up her hands and admitted that the political narrative on inflation that she enabled put us on the road to economic collapse. On the same day, President Biden published an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal blaming Trump and Putin for his problems before touting the same radical policies the American people have already rejected. What we're seeing now is more than just the consequences of a failed political maneuver. It is the collapse of an economic philosophy the Democrats insisted was far superior to anything their political opponents would ever come up with. And the Democrats' response to this is what exactly? To say, well, they're sorry. Then they just double down. They just keep on going. Not exactly a plot twist for this administration. They intend to double down on their failed policies. At this point in Biden's blame game, Tennesseans are accustomed to watching the administration fail. But that doesn't mean that they're not paying attention to the details and the steps this administration is taking. Tennesseans are nervous, stressed out. They feel like everything is out of control, and nobody in the White House really cares about it. As I've been out about and around the state, inflation, the price at the pump, the price at the grocery store, the cost of fertilizers,